How y'all doing, ladies and gentlemen? It's me again, the Apocalyptic Optimath, and you are listening to the Apocalyptic Optimath channel. And I am, like I said once before, the Apocalyptic Optimath. If it's your first time joining my channel, welcome. Subscribe, leave a like, comment if you like what you hear. It helps me and it helps the algorithm, and it gets me to be posted on other people's timelines and so on and whatnot and blah 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 goggly goop. All right, so I'm not, by the way, I'm not changing content. I've been talking about the opposite sex for a minute, but I'm not going to change the content of my channel. I'm not making a transition. You know, I don't know why some people think I'm making a transition. I'm not making a transition to that sort of content, you know. Cuz quite frankly, it's too high above my pay grade. It is. It's too high above my pay grade. I'm too old school to, I believe that an old school mindset on relationship goals or relationship status or relationship, giving a relationship advice on in an old school mindset, I still think it's good. Because, like, when I say old school, I'm talking about 90s. You know, I'm talking about the 90s, right? So, I'm kind of like, I still think the 90s aspect of dating made a lot more sense than the aspect of dating that we have right now, to be quite honest. You know, and men were more romantic in the 90s. Facts. I mean, girls used to complain about dudes all the time in the 90s, and they were right. Women are always right about men. It's facts. It's not a lie. Men be acting like that. Men do be acting like that. But if we're gonna compare, like, the extent to the types of things that men would do compared to today, dog, back in the 90s, dudes would, like, they would be jumping out of parachutes, jumping out of airplanes with no parachute, bruh, and still stick the landing. You know what I mean? You know, so dudes don't be doing that no more, man. And the only people that be doing that is the people that are financially well off, you know. And everybody else that's not financially well off, they find it hard and difficult to stick the landing. No pun intended, no offense meant. So it's still facts though. And because of that, and it's not men's fault that we can't talk. It's just things have changed. Like, relationship, the way people interact with each other has changed, you know. And, you know, whether it's for the worse or the better, I don't know. I don't really care, you know. Well, I do care, but it's not a problem right now, but it might become a problem later. If it becomes a problem later, then, you know, then we're going to talk about it and whatnot. We're going to make videos about it and whatnot. We're making videos about it right now. But me, the reason why I'm not going to go into in depth in that sort of thing is because, well, I'm old school, man. Like, you know, so my principles and values are different than the principles and values that people have today. It's just different. It's just not the same. I find it interesting. You know, I find it interesting. But I do have an opinion, more or less, and I still keep up with the Joneses. nevertheless, regardless of what's going on, I still keep up with the Joneses at the end of the day. So I'm not that oblivious to what's going on, but I still think in an old-fashioned type of way where I gotta check my boxes first. If my boxes aren't checked, I can't go forward with things. I can't. Like, I gotta get the money. I gotta get the money. I gotta get the stability. I gotta get the stability. It's not about money. I have to get the stability. And then I can, and if not, I have to find a way to provide the stability. I gotta be the one taking care of you. You can't be the one taking care of me. It just don't work like that. It don't work like that, man. I gotta find a way to take care of you. And it's not that I wouldn't frequent or it's not that I wouldn't try. It's not that I wouldn't shoot my shot with somebody that is more financially well off than I am. That's not it. It's just I gotta be standing on something. I gotta be standing on something. Okay, you might be rich, but I got an idea on how to get even more money. You know what I mean? Like, I gotta have something. I can't be in a relationship with nothing because I don't feel right. I don't feel right. I feel like I'm taking advantage of you if I'm just sitting there and not showing my appreciation, for you in any shit. Because it's not about, like, the thing is, it's not about who's making more money and shit. No, it's about me showing appreciation for the poom poom. I gotta show appreciation for the poom poom because the poom poom is good. The poom poom is good. The poom poom is holy. The poom poom is sanctified. The poom poom is sacred. It's sacred. So I can't just be taking the poom poom without sacrificing to my Lord and Savior, the poom poom. You know what I mean? So I gotta do things to show you that and I gotta go hard, man. I gotta go, because at the end of the day, we're talking about skin. That shit is sacred, man. We're talking about skin. That's like, it's private. It's intimate. You're giving me access to your body. That's a lot. You're giving me access to your body. That's a lot, man. That means a lot, man. That's like, that's some holy grail shit. And I know people nowadays, even women, they downsize the value of their poom poom because they're like, man, if I keep going this way, I ain't never gonna get a man. So I have to depreciate the value of my poom poom a little bit. You know what I mean? I gotta notch. I gotta lower the notches. I gotta put the bar lower. I gotta set the bar lower in order to have more experiences, or else I'm never gonna get any experiences, man. So it's not about having like irrational, but it's not necessarily a bad thing either to understand what's happening, because hey, I like sex as much as the next man. No pun intended, no offense meant. Pour in your face. But I have to be honest. I like sex as much as the next man. Okay? But the thing is, I understand what I'm doing when I'm doing it. I don't think most men understand what they're doing while they're doing it. They understand that it feels good. They understand that it you know it's a pleasure. They understand that it's satisfaction. They understand that it's intimacy. They understand that and I'm guessing that's how much people understand about it. To be quite frank, like on a general basis, I'm not saying everybody, but on a general base, that's what people understand, men and women. I don't think women understand what's going on when they're having sex. Do you understand that you're letting a person touch you in ways that other people can't? Like your mother can't touch you. Look, pause. Your mother can't touch you like that. Your best friend can touch you like that. If you're a woman, another woman can't touch you like that, and you're best friends. Not conventionally. Maybe it does happen with the best friend. Maybe conventionally it happens, but it's not conventional. Unconventionally, I mean, but it's not a conventional thing. It's not something that it's not like when you're with your friends, it's like 100% chance that that's gonna happen, right? So there's an intimacy, there's a sort of private thing going on there. And even in society, we have the notion of marriage, right? And it's only after marriage in society, sex is only a good thing after marriage, right? And if you have sex before marriage, you're a whole part of your face, part of my language here, but let's just face facts. Like if you have sex before marriage, you're promiscuous, you're hoeing around, you're being a 304, you're being a 304, you're doing all kinds of nonsense, right? You're seen as a crazy person living a crazy life. But as soon as you get married, all of a sudden it's okay to have sex, right? So as you can see there is a certain importance to your frame, right? To this frame that we have, to this body that we have. There's something sacred about it, And mind you, men can feel the same way about their family jewels. They can feel the same way about their family jewels. That's okay. But we ain't talking about the men, because men already have a bunch of shit. They already have this, they already have that. They build businesses, blah, blah, blah. So no one cares about your penis. And that's why nobody cares about your penis. Because you already own everything. You already built everything. But that does not mean that your penis ain't worth shit, though. Let's just put it out there. Let's just put that out there real quick. So back to the women. It's sacred, right? It's a sacred act, So when you're going to church, which is the temple of the woman, the temple being the body. So when you attend in church, when you are praying to the Lord, with you're making love, when you're praying to the Lord, and is it not normal to show gratitude to the Lord by offering things, by giving it an offering, right? This is how I see it, and a lot of people have a lot of difficulty. Women have difficulty with that, because they be like, oh, you don't have to do that, you don't have to be like, don't worry about that, that's cool. That no, you don't understand. This is my religion. Facts. Like, if you don't understand that, we can't have a relationship. like, I'm hopping out. You don't understand. This is fucking serious to me. Like, this is real life. You know, this is world star hip hop. You know what I mean? You know, so and I'm dead serious. Like, I cannot have a relationship with a woman that doesn't understand that. I can't have a relationship with a woman that doesn't understand that, because I'm gonna take that shit seriously. She thinks I'm kidding. She think I'm playing. She doesn't think that I'll be praying to the Lord every night. You know, morning to sundown. You know what I mean? You know, she don't understand that. You know, so and that ends up, and for old school mindsets like me, I'm a little bit different. I'm a little bit extreme with the religious aspect. You know, I'm a bit extreme on that. But for old school people, it still happens. It still happens. And most of the time, the relationship don't work out because the girl actually does not give a fuck. But that's bad. It's cool on a sexual tip, but it's also bad on a relationship tip, because that means she's not gonna do the work. You know, and the work is not her actually working a 9 to 5. The work is emotional support. The work is, you know, having a level head, keeping the relationship on track, you know, pushing the man forward in life, because it is your job. It's a woman's job to push a man forward. You know what I mean? If you're in a relationship with a dude, if you're a housewife, especially if you're a housewife, and even if you're just a girlfriend, just a regular girlfriend, y'all ain't getting married, you're young, blah, 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 that's still your job to push him forward. It's still your job to encourage him. It's still your job. I'm sorry, girls, but it is. You know, and there's some women that are not equipped. Pause. No pun intended, no offense meant, but it's true. Some women are not equipped to be in a relationship. I know what I just said is messed up. I'm sorry. I know, but it's facts. Some women are not equipped to be in a relationship because they don't know what to do with a man, because their idea of a relationship is just body language. You know, like their idea of a couple is body language. And what I mean by body language is things that you do intimately, you know, but a relationship is a lot more than that. You know, a relationship is an opportunity to grow. A relationship is an opportunity to be better. A relationship is an opportunity to be even greater than what you once were 5 minutes ago. You know? So, I'm not women bashing. I'm actually talking about myself. Because and I'm actually talking about the reason why I'm not transitioning into the dating content pool, even though I could get more views if I did do it. I could get some more views if I did do it, but it's not my thing, you know, and I could be good at it, but it's not I'm too old school, man. I'm from back in the days, man. I'm too old school with it, man. A lot of people would disagree with some of my ideals, you know. Like, I don't like the soft guy era. You know, I don't like the soft guy era. I don't like this idea that women should pay for dinner. That's weird. Okay, it's emasculating. First of all, I don't understand how a real man, I don't understand how a real man would feel good knowing that the woman that he loves or he would like to fall in love with is paying for dinner. It's emasculating. It can happen from time to time. Not every fucking time. First date, men has to pay. The first date, the male has to pay for the first date. The third date, she can pay. The second date, it's still a bit dodgy. It depends. The first, if you're broke, find a way to pay for the first date. Rob somebody. Steal a wallet. No, I'm kidding. Don't do that. Don't do that. But find a way. Do something. You know what I mean? Like, do something. You have to provide the first date. You have to stand on business on the first date, bro. It's important. The first date is the first day of the rest of your fucking life with this person, dude. So the first date has to be immaculate. You know what I mean? It has to be immaculate. You know what I mean? No, it doesn't have to be immaculate. But, you know, let's say you're broke. Find a way. And then the second day she can pay. But the first date, it gotta be you. It has to be you. It has to be you. It has to be you. And if she absolutely wants to pay for dinner, don't do it. Leave. No, because you're gonna find it hard. It's easy to lose respect. It's easy to lose respect, especially with a woman. Especially with a woman, it's easy to lose respect, man. I'm telling you, once she sets in her mind that you're that guy, you're gonna be that guy forever in her head. Even though it's momentary, for her, it's forever. You know what I mean? You will always be that guy. You know what I mean? It doesn't matter what you do. You're that guy. You're the guy that didn't pay for dinner. You know what I mean? So you gotta find a way. If you're financially stable, but you're not fucking loaded, right? Third date, right? Not even. I would say fifth date. It's okay for her to pay. On the fifth date, if there is a fifth date, third to five. After first and second date, you pay. Absolutely. And you don't tell her to pay. She has to offer to pay. You know what I mean? She has to offer to pay. If she never offers to pay, you know, so be it. She might be a little bit cheap. But it depends on her fucking situation too. You're not going to ask her to pay when she broke and you're financially stable. That don't make sense. So you got to have discernment. Like, the dating scene it's like dealing with women is like trigonometry, man. It's like calculus. You know what I mean? Like, you have to create algorithms and, you know, apps. You got to create apps and algorithms in order to understand understand what you're doing and know on what foot to stand on, right? You know, because anything could shatter your image. Anything could shatter your image, and once the image is shattered, it's done. You can't do anything about it. You know what I mean? You know, so if you're rich, though, don't ever ask a woman to pay for dinner. That's crazy. That's nonsense. Just stop being a bitch. If you got money and you're walking around town saying stupid shit, like, nah, you're stupid. If you're walking around town, you got money. You're well off. You got money and you're like, well, why don't you pay for dinner for once? Blah, blah, giving attitude and shit. Bro, get out of here. Stop it. You know, you knock it off. Like, knock that shit off completely. Because that's emasculating. Like, well, I'm rich. I don't feel emasculated. I'm loaded. So if she pay for dinner for once, it'd be cool and shit. Because I'm always paying for dinner. Blah, blah, blah. So, That's not her job. Her job is not to pay for dinner, bruh. You have a need. And this need is great. It's a great need. And when I mean great, it's not like you're yearning for her. That's great. What you are trying to achieve is great. You are trying to have possession and complete control momentarily of another human being's body. And you are exchanging fluids, words, love language, fluid, all kinds of shit. And that's you that needs it and wants it. And she's there to provide. So it is only normal to make an offering to the temple, to leave food on the steps of the temple. You know what I mean? It's only normal to leave a little libation. You know, it's only normal to leave a libation for that great need. Because at the end of the day, we all take sex for granted. Everybody takes sex for granted. Even, like, you know, I try not to take sex for granted, but I do. You know, just like everybody else. But things have changed. People are more open. And, you know, there's the people that have many different styles. And styles are blending into each other. And all that good stuff, you know. And that's okay. There's nothing wrong with that. But, you know, at the end of the day, we kind of sometimes lose sight of ourselves. You know, we lose sight of ourselves. We lose sight of ourselves, and we lose sight of ourselves, and we end up, you know, having 4, 5, 6 relationships that don't work out, you know, because we weren't taking into consideration multiple variables, like I've just enumerated a minute ago, right? But when a man knows his place, when a man is a real man and he knows his place, he know he gonna pay for dinner. He ain't trying to hear none of that soft guy era nonsense. Oh, you pay for dinner now because blah 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 blah. You know, dudes be like some women got an attitude. Facts. We ain't gonna lie. Some women got an attitude. But bruh, like this whole thing where you're kind of like, oh, women gotta show me what they bring to the table because I work a job and da 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 da. Bro, she giving you her body, man. Entire body, right? To pleasure you, to make you feel satisfied, to make you not feel lonely. You have somebody that is 100% loyal to you, that is intimate with you, that spends all of her time with you. She is your partner in crime. Basically, no pun intended, but she's basically your partner in crime. She's your partner, she's your associate, she's your wife, she's your everything, she's your life. Because without her, what would you have? You'd be lonely as fuck. And then it'd be, you know, you'd be waking off. You'd be jerking off in, you know, in the tissue. You know? So what? So you got money, but you're jerking off in the tissue though. You know what I mean? You don't want to jerk off in the tissue. You don't want to be rich and you're jerking off in the tissue. No, if you rich, this is the reason why you're rich. So you don't have to fucking jerk off in the tissue. So it's only normal for you to put out the cake for that date. It is what it is. It's always gonna be like that. You know? Well, for some men, it's always gonna be like that. Maybe not for all men, but for some men, it's always gonna be like that. It's not gonna change. We're not gonna change because we respect the female agent. We respect the female agent, man. So if you got money, stop. What do you bring? Just shut up, man. Like, yeah, for real, bro. Like, you just stop that, man. Like, that's nonsense, bro. Like, if that's not your kind of girl, move on to the next one. And yes, there's some women that are, that they be a bit, abrasive. They're a little bit abrasive with it because they expect the man to understand what she is. And you can see it as being abrasive, but maybe she's trying to explain to you something, but you ain't listening. I'm the woman. You're the man. You're telling me what I bring to the table. Me, nigga. I'm bringing me to the motherfucking table. You know what I mean? So dudes right now expect to have intimacy, control over their financial state. That means they don't have to put money out. They don't have to buy gifts. They don't have to pay for dinner. They don't have to do nothing, right? And still expect loyalty, and basically submission, not in a way that, super subservient, but, in a way that, oh, don't look at that dude because you're with me, or, it's okay for me to be jealous because you're with me and shit. Like, you can't, there's certain attitudes you can't adopt if you're not doing certain things. You can be a jealous boyfriend if you're paying for dinner. You can be a jealous boyfriend if you're buying gifts. You can be a jealous boyfriend when you do that. When you show your love for her, you can be jealous. You're in your absolute right to be jealous. If you're not doing those things, shut up. Because you're not doing those things. So her attitude is only a reflection of how you treat her at the end of the day. So when women, so some women are like, what I bring me, she's right. Because that's a whole temple. That's a whole church. That's a whole church, bro. And I'm not simping. Maybe a little bit. Maybe I'm simping a little bit, but I don't feel like I'm simping. This is facts. This is facts, bro. Like, so, man, like I said, this is the kind of shit that I'm talking about. This is why I don't do relationship advice, because I'm aware of what I'm saying is a bit old school, and mind you, I did say what I just said, but in some cases, some men might be right about some ladies out there that be overdoing it with the whole, you got to pay for this, blah, blah. I just bring me to the table. Because you can't just bring your body to the table. Like, do you give me emotional support? Can we work together? Can we buy a home together? Can we get an apartment together? Can we buy a home together? Can we get a dog together? Can we go ride a bicycle together? Can we go, what are these things? What are the outside things that I'm not doing that you can do? Because to me, maybe for some dude, it is about, are you working? Do you got your own money? Blah, blah, blah. Maybe for some dude, that's what it is. But me, if I ask that question, what do you bring to the table? It would be more emotional and mental. Do you give me mental support? Do you give me emotional support? Do you give me intimacy? what is it that you bring to the table? Because if you just bring your body and you're like stone cold, like that ain't gonna cut it. Like, you know, I don't really that doesn't get me off. I don't wanna be sleeping with a block of ice. You know, pause. You know, pause, bro. But I don't want to be, you know, I don't want to be drilling ice. You know what I mean? Like, so I'm not trying to make martinis over here. You know what I mean? I'm not trying to make drinks on the rocks over here. You know what I mean? So yeah, this is even though like I said, I don't think like what I do have an opinion. Obviously, I'm opinionated. But and maybe what I think has some form of value. Maybe my opinion has some form of value over that. But I feel, me personally, if I talk about relationships, I would speak about relationships on a spiritual aspect. Because I feel on a spiritual aspect, it's more forgivable to be old school. You know, because when you're spiritual, there's a lot of respect given. There's a lot of respect given. There's a lot of, you know, this and that, you know. There's a lot of tit for tat. There's a lot of this and that, you know. So there's a lot of exchange going on. You know, there's a lot of energy exchange going on when we're talking about a spiritual thing, right? And not everybody, and even a lot of women are not ready for spiritual relationships either, you know, like, and that's okay too, you know, that's okay too, that's fine, you know, as long as you're a good woman, we can work it out, you know, like, as long as you're a good woman, we can work it out, I am sure, you know. So on a spiritual point of view, it's more forgivable, I feel like. On a spiritual level, it's more forgivable. You got more space to talk because you're not infringing on society's mindset about relationship. Right? Because you know, oh, you're spiritual. Okay, that's why. Okay, boom, right? Like, because society got a crazy idea about sex. Society doesn't want to see sex as something spiritual. Society doesn't want to see sex as something that can actually create reality. You know, this is the, like, people don't see sex as a power that can create reality. They don't see sex as a power that can create life, that can make all of your dreams come true. They don't see it like that. Nobody does, you know. Only occultists see sex in that shape or form. But you want to know a secret about spirituality? Is that spirituality is supposed to be for everybody. That's the secret about spirituality. The big secret about spirituality is that it's for everybody. But not everybody respects it. Not everybody's into it, you know. And anyways, there's a bunch of people that make like relationship videos and they're pretty good, you know. So, you know, does the community need another person that talks about that? Not really. You know, I'd rather talk about the things that I talk. I think those are more important than they have, like, it's not that it has more value. Because sometimes, I ain't gonna lie, sometimes I be watching some of these things, man, and I get pissed off. Like, these weird, it's like, I hate these fucking panels where there's like one dude or two dudes, whatever, and they invite a bunch of women, only fangirls or women, and they start berating. Why are you doing that? You are gay. You are gay. Nah, for real, bro. Like, Leave the OnlyFans girls alone. Me, the only thing I'm worried about when I think about OnlyFans is, are they safe? Are they safe while they're doing? That's the only thing. Shut your bitch ass up. If you are not making sure that these OnlyFans women are safe, shut up. Shut your mouth. So seriously, like, cause that's the only thing that should matter to you. Like, she does OnlyFans, she does OnlyFans. So what? So fucking what? I fucking hate these fucking panels. So fucking what? What does it fucking matter? What is it to you? Well, your kid's gonna shut up. That's her fucking business. Why don't you grow up? Instead of worrying about her, why don't you grow up? Why can't you just plain and simply have respect for people and things, whichever those things are? Why don't you do that? Instead of insulting this woman's son or daughter, leave her alone. Leave her alone. You can't do that? It's too hard for you? That's ridiculous. It blows my mind. Pardon my language. Pardon my language. But that's how mind-blowing it is to me. I hate watching those. I hate watching those. And it brings views. I understand it's just for views. I understand it's just for views. But some people kind of eat it up. And at the end of the day, they're kind of right. At the end of the day, that shit is happening in real life. It is still happening. Even though they're doing it just to get views, it's still actually happening in real life. Still. So I hate it. I hate it. It to me, it shows the bad side of men. To me, it shows the most disrespectful aspect of men. Because at the end of the day, you enjoy a woman. You enjoy her body. You love her body. You love those sweet, sweet walls. Pardon my language. Pardon my French. But you love them honeyed walls. Right? So you should have more respect for it. You should have more respect for it, man. You should treat it as what it is. Something holy. Something sacred. You know what I mean? So, because that's what it is. And where she's showing off her body to you on OnlyFans, lucky you. You know, that doesn't mean I'm gonna watch it. That doesn't mean that I don't want to watch that shit. Or maybe I do. Who knows? You know, I don't watch OnlyFans. Do I care that there's people on OnlyFans? Nope. like that does not bother me at all, because at the end of the day, what matters is that she can do what she does, because she's a female. Females are like that. I got a daughter myself, and man, like, I don't want her to be doing all these crazy things that all these women are doing, right? More or less, you know. But if we can be more responsible, like, I don't want my daughter to feel like there's something that she can't do. She should be able to do whatever the F she wants, you know, for lack of better terms. She should be able, hypothetically speaking, she should be able to do whatever she wants. But you gotta do it responsibly, and you gotta know what you're doing, and you gotta know why you're doing it. If you can converse with me, if you can speak to me, if you can sit my ass down and explain to me your philosophy behind what you're doing. Okay. Because you're making me feel safe now. Because I know you're not gonna, oh well, no, she's too smart, or she knows this too much, whatever. So I know she's not gonna end up in a situation. But if I don't have any indication that you know what you're doing, yeah, I'm gonna lose my shit. You know, of course. And everybody else. That makes sense, you know. But at the end of the day, what I'm trying to say is, I have a daughter, and I'm gonna have to, somebody's gonna marry her one day. She's gonna have a boyfriend. She did have a boyfriend. Not happy about it. It did last long, so I'm happy about that. But I do want her to be happy, though. I do want her to be happy. And at the end of the day, women are women. You know, there's something about women. There will always be, there's going to be women that are more pudic. You know, there are going to be women that are less outgoing, that are less not outgoing, that are less, how do you say, damn it, what's that word again? They're outwardly, like, damn it, I forgot. There's a word. You know what word it is. That's the worst part. Like, you probably thought about it before I said it. But there's some women that are more, they express themselves a bit easier than others, and there's some women that are a little bit more reclusive with their expressions and shit, and so, you know, and so at the end of the day, what I'm trying to say is that there's always going to be a part of women that is very sexualized, and women will be sexual regardless. And that's what some men don't understand, is that even if men didn't exist, there's some women that would be very sexual nevertheless. And a lot of men don't understand that. And these women that are out here being women, you know, they're getting insulted and attacked and berated and disrespected, mistreated even, taken advantage of because of their sexual nature. Because some men take advantage of them. Because some men can't respect them for some unbeknownst reason, because they feel like that's not what the Lord decided. The Lord didn't decide nothing. The woman is what the woman is. The man is what the man is. And I don't have to speak to women about, oh, well, women need to respect men more. No, because they're not the stronger sex. So we don't have to attack women on their amount of respect. What we need to talk about is the male's respect for women, lack thereof, if there is. You know, at the end of the day, that's the most important part, is what your respect, how much respect you have towards what she's giving you. Because it doesn't look like you do respect what she's giving you. And what she's giving you is beautiful. What she's giving you is beautiful. Wondrous. And you don't respect it. Even if it's on OnlyFans and she's not doing it to you live. Still wondrous. Still beautiful. She's doing it for you. She's not doing it for herself. She's giving herself to you. That's spiritual too. It's a bit dark. What do you expect? I'm an unholy and unhumble host, the Apocalyptic Optimist. And by the way, if you like what you're hearing, subscribe to my channel. Leave a like, leave a comment. It'll help the algorithm. It will help me get in the algorithm, and people that are interested in these types of videos will see them, and it'll help me hack the matrix, So, how much respect do we have for what is a woman? Because some people think a woman is a woman that, she cooks dinner and she takes care of the house. No. That's not what a woman is, man. That's TV women. Real women are primal. Just like men. They're primal creatures. Just like men. And where we're dealing with primal, we're not dealing with a woman that's like we're talking about apes. Okay? Women are apes. Baboons. You know what I mean? They're primal. So they're not, technically speaking, they're not supposed to be walking around with turtlenecks on. That's not natural. The whole idea of a woman, a business woman and shit, that's not natural. Women are girly. They can't break a nail. They scream. They're irrational. They kind of, they get scared easily. They're not supposed to be business oriented. They're not supposed to be business oriented, bro. Like, it's cool if she is. And I know, I said, me personally, I need a little bit, but you don't have to be, with me, you don't have to be business oriented, but you gotta help me. You gotta push me. You gotta be there. You gotta have some interest. Man. I can't be with me personally. That's not my kind of girl. If a perfect woman for me is somebody that has a good balance between intimacy and interest. That's a perfect woman for me. Like somebody that's a little bit business and a little bit intimate, like 50-50, right? That would be a perfect woman for me, because I'm an entrepreneur, because I like starting projects. I like to work on things. I'm writing a book. I got a website. I got this. I got plans. I got other things I'm gonna work on. I got I got a bunch of ideas. I read books. I take classes. So there's a lot of things. And I have to have a little bit of that interest with you, because if you don't have any interest for what I'm doing, it's gonna get boring. To me, it's boring, because I really love what I do. I really love building projects. That is the number one fucking important thing in my entire life, is building projects. I love that shit. It's important to me, and then sex. Like right next to it. I wouldn't even say under. It's like right next to it. It's like projects and sex. That's it. You know what I mean? That's it. So I don't need you to cook. I don't need you to make me sandwiches. That's nonsense. Maybe sandwiches and shit like that and nonsense. I don't care. I don't care about that shit. Me, as long as you show interest in what I'm doing, my business, and we have a good emotional and physical rapport, man, that's golden. You know what I mean? That's a golden ticket. That's marriage material for me, for the kind of person I am. Because like I said, we gotta have discernment too. 2025, we gotta have some discernment, man. We can't just expect, like, it's not one size fit all, bro. It's not one size fit all, man. Women are not all the same. I mean, they're all the same, but they're not all the same. There's a kind of woman for every style of men. End of story. And it seems like men Instead of going for the women that matches their persona better, they just go for anybody. And this is where we take sex for granted. And this is where the sex and the relationship becomes toxic. It's not spiritual anymore. Because just because you don't believe in spirituality, that doesn't mean you're not living a spiritual experience. Because like I said, spirituality is for everybody. It's something that everybody should have. Right off the bat, right off the get-go. It's just been swept under the rug. It's been eliminated. It's been removed from the main course. So we gotta have discernment. We gotta understand ourselves. We gotta understand ourselves in order to find what we need, in order to find what we want. You know. So, like I said, these panels. It's like these panels, I hate watching these panels. There's people that have good content, but I hate watching these panels when they invite, you know, and they just start berating girls and shit and telling them they're this, they're that, and blah, blah, blah. Bullshit. It's all bullshit. It's bullshit to me, man. That shit's garbage. You know, and so sometimes they might bring up valid points. Fine. I am willing to admit that sometimes some valid points may have been brought up from time to time, which is probably the reason why I click on a video or I watch a video when I see it, or a short or some shit, right? You know, but the number one thing that men should be worried about, instead of watching these fucking things, these toxic fucking things, they should be worried about, is she safe? Is she really running her OnlyFans, or it's a bunch of weirdos that's making her do OnlyFans? You know what I mean? Because there's shit like that happens too. Is her environment safe? That's what we need to think about. Not telling her, calling her all kinds of names and shit like that. And some women, of course, they're safe when they do their things. And if they choose to do that, they choose to do that. Oh, but they're young. So what? You know, they're young. They be doing stuff. So what? You were young. You did stupid stuff. Like everybody did stupid stuff. And if you never did stupid stuff, well, go do some stupid stuff before it's too late. Because then you're going to die and you never did anything stupid. And then you're going to be like, man, I should have done something stupid when I was alive. I feel like I missed out on my whole life because I never done anything stupid. You know, I'm just saying, you know, so, and it's not stupid if it's racking up a bunch of money. At the end of the day, it's not her that's stupid. The people that, if you're going to call her stupid, then everybody that gave her money, which are men, are even more stupid than her. So that means men are the real idiots, not women. Because we perpetuate the OnlyFans. We perpetuate the porn website. We perpetuate, we put money in it, in the webcam service. So we're the idiots. It's not her. She's smart. She's like, oh, I'm going to get all this money if I show my tits. Well, fuck it. If that's all they want, shit. It's not like somebody's touching it. I'm inside my house. Fuck it. I'm going to show my tits. Boom. Money. How is that stupid? That's not stupid. What's stupid, if that is stupid, then the person paying for the stupidity is even more stupid than the person doing the stupidity, because now you got somebody doing something stupid, but then you got another person paying to see the person do the thing that's stupid. So it's men that need to learn respect. It's men that need to learn to be less stupid. It's men that needs to know what they're doing. And yes, it's possible to reform men, because I don't think men like to watch porn. I don't think men, and OnlyFans, I think OnlyFans is better. I think OnlyFans is better than porn website or webcam service. Some fucking, weird shit. Hey, anyway. So, and at least with these women, they have a community. It's like YouTube. So you can actually communicate and speak to them. You can have a rapport outside of the pornographic content, right? It becomes like a person that you can chat with, a person that you can follow. It becomes a person with a purpose. As of watching two strangers or three, randomly and shit, and you're never gonna meet them, you're never gonna see them, you're never gonna, anyway. So I mean, you could, but in general, you're not even looking to meet them. People that go on OnlyFans, they're looking for friends, and now they got a friend that's willing to show them their titties. So that's a super duper friend. As I was saying in the beginning, it's not conventional. It's not a conventional thing. It's unconventional. We don't share. It's not a conventional thing to share your body with people on a regular basis. And anybody and anywhere, that's not how we live, and there's nothing wrong with that. That's great. That's fantastic. We got to have a little bit of self-respect somewhere, what I mean? Whatever that means, but, like I said, but at the same time, we need to grow up. We need to grow up. We need to stop treating intimacy as a tool. It's a gift. It's a given. It's a gift, bro. It's a gift, man. And yeah, you can find it anywhere, of course. But it's still a gift. It's still a gift at the end of the day. That's all I have to say. I'm going to stop the video right there. And I'm going to see you guys on the next one, man. Have a good one. Peace out.